farm that we're looking at here in front of us was the Henry Weaner farm. Its first deed was from 1802, and it was actually deeded to the Weaner family by descendants of William Penn and the Manor of Mask. The house, which you see back here in the distance, and also the barn here, dates back to 1842. So it was here during the Battle of Gettysburg and sat between the old Harrisburg Pike, which is over here heading south into Gettysburg, which troops under Jubal Early advanced to the town of Gettysburg on, and then also over here, which is the Hunterstown Pike to our left, which also Confederate troops advanced on Gettysburg after the Battle of Hunterstown on July 2nd, 1863. So this farm sits between the Hunterstown and the old Harrisburg Road, and it's very easy to get to. If you come north on the old Harrisburg Road from Gettysburg, you'll make a right on the Weaner Avenue. If you come north on the Hunterstown Road, you would make a left in the Weaner Avenue, and it's the farm, the old farm that sits here, is the Henry Weaner farm. But this farm also has the honor of having host to one of the oldest trees in Pennsylvania, which is a large white oak tree that dates back to 1698. And if we turn here, we'll see it in the distance back here. It's 19 feet in diameter, and on part 2 we're going to go over and take a close-up look at the size of this tree. As a part of our Secrets of the Battlefield. So Confederate troops advanced on and camped around the area of the Weaner farm on July 1st and 2nd of 1863. The original house and deed, or the original house from the deed of 1802 actually sat down near the natural spring at the original Weaner farm, which sat down by the oak tree, and we're going to take a look at that area again in part 2. This has been the Henry Weaner farm. It's going to be the Henry Weaner farm part 2, and we're going to be taking a look at the historic Weaner oak tree. As we took a look at the farm itself in part 1, we did mention this oak tree. This is actually one of the oldest living oak trees in Pennsylvania. It goes to about 1698. It's just about 320 years old now, here in 2014. The tree a few years ago was dated, and the approximate dating for the tree was 1698. Now, one of the reasons that this tree has lasted so long is the ground I'm standing on here is a natural spring. Springs are all around here in puddles, providing this tree over its life with fresh, clean groundwater for its roots. The diameter at the base of this tree is 19 feet around. So it's huge, and the tree is alive. It's actually in pretty good shape. It has a few dead branches on it, but considering its age of over 300 years old, it's in excellent shape. And as we take a look over at the trunk of the tree, it was here on July 1st, 1863, that Confederate troops under Jubal Early made their way up the old Harrisburg Road, and also some troops on July 1st and July 2nd made their way down the Hunterstown Pike. We did videos on the Battle of Hunterstown, and also a video on Early's advance toward Gettysburg. Confederate troops camped around this area and passed right by this tree. And again, this has been recognized as one of the oldest trees in Gettysburg. And we're going to take a walk around the extremely large base of this tree, which again is over 19 feet in diameter. And you can see, again, the springs that just literally pop out of the ground here at this tree, from this tree. And again, this is a tree that sat here on the Henry Weaner farm. Now, also, I want to make mention that, as we talked about in the first video, the original William Penn's Manor of Mask was right in this area as well. And the first deed for Henry Weaner's property goes back to the year 1802. The house, the original house that was built on the Weaner farm, sat right here in this area around the tree. And it was later, again, removed down here to where the current house and barn stand, which is from 1842. But the original Henry Weaner house, rather, was from, the deed was from 1802. And I got that information from the great, 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 great grandson who still lives in the house today, Allen Weaner. So the Weaner family has had this farm in their hands since William Penn deeded the ground over from the original Manor of Mask. This has been the Henry Weaner farm and the historic Weaner oak tree, also Secrets of the Battlefield, witness tree.